Hey guys, this is Miles Catlett, and this is lesson 2 of JavaScript. So I want to go over a few different things. The first thing is JavaScript is case sensitive. So if I create a variable, for example, let's say we want camel case to equal 2. That's not the same thing as this. They're two different variables and they have two different values. So if I console log camel case, I should get 2. And if we console log camel case, we should get 3. So we'll see 2 and 3 show up in the console. So definitely case sensitive. You want to watch that with variables, with anything that you do. So the next thing is making comments. You make comments in a couple different ways. You can make comments with the 2 slashes. And this just helps you understand what your code is and remember later when you come back, or helps another person understand what's going on. So we can say declaring variables showing the difference. And sometimes we'll go kind of long on a line, so we can also comment this way. And notice that we have to have an ending tag. So declaring variables showing how JavaScript is case sensitive. And then we close it. So you'll see people do this. You'll see people do this as well. I prefer doing it this way, but it doesn't really matter how you do it. But that's how you make comments and what comments are for. Well, sometimes we'll have what we call literals. So this would be specific values. So if we want to console log 2, we can just do that this way, and 2 is considered a literal. Or we can do text. We can console log something, and that will show up. So there's a lot of different things that we can console log. We can even do things like, Boolean values like true or false. And this will show up as a literal. And other JavaScript values like undefined, and then it will show up as undefined. So there are a lot of words that we can use, but there are certain words that we can't, and these are called reserved words. So if you're declaring a variable, for example, and you want it to be something that we're going to bring in, we can't call it import because that's a reserved word. So this is going to give us an error message just showing us that this is a variable declaration expected. So if we save this, unexpected token import, it's going to show us that, hey, you can't use that word, it's a reserved word. And there's a bunch of these, as, async, await, break, case, catch, class, const, continue, debugger, default, delete, etc. And you can find a complete list online. We can use some Unicode characters too. So if we want to get a smiley face emoji, for example, that is, let me see what that is. I don't usually do these, so 1F600. Oh, I gotta use brackets. Curly brackets for this. So now there's our smiley face. And you can use these in literals and you can use these in variables. You may see code a lot of times that has semicolons at the end. And sometimes we're required to use these and sometimes we're not. So you'll see code with and without them. I don't always use them. I tend to only use them when they're required, but they signify a break between one phrase, and another. So if we create a loop, for example, for let I equals 0, we've got to use, oh my goodness, we've got to use a semicolon. So I is less than 12, we're going to increment I. So in this case, we've got to have semicolons separating the lines. And this is required, and you can't write this way. But if we're just doing, see, it gives you an error. If we're just doing a console log, though, then we're good. We don't necessarily have to include the semicolon. We can include it. We can not include it. Doesn't matter. And there's a lot of rules around when to include that and when not, and it really kind of depends on what code you're using and when you need a line break basically and when you don't. So, and that's JavaScript lesson 2. Hope you're enjoying. Hit the like button on my YouTube channel, and I appreciate it.